going on, everybody out there? This is Popular Stranger, and we are back at you again today with another Madden 21 beta video. The Madden 21 beta is coming to an end tonight at midnight, and shout outs to everybody that was able to play it. Let me know your kind of final thoughts on it, how you're feeling about it. I would not be surprised if we get another beta weekend. August 25th is the first release date of Madden 21, and we're still pretty far from that. I would not be surprised if we get some type of update and then maybe they open it up again. Maybe not this coming weekend, but the weekend after that. But I do feel like we'll probably get one more weekend of it. Hopefully they open it up for everybody. I mean, I want everybody to be able to play this. I don't want you to have to need a code for this thing, but we shall see. So what we're going to do in this video is I want to go through the beta feedback forums, and I'm really just going to take a look at the most upvoted issues, the most upvoted comments, and I just want to talk about them, see if I agree with them, have a conversation about them, maybe take a look at some of the comments under that. So let's go ahead and do it. Let's see what is wrong with Madden 21. So the very first one on here, I'm surprised this is the most upvoted comment here. So trucking and hurdling, and his feedback is, I don't like how it's Y or triangle to truck and up on the R3 button to hurdle. So I think that's just more of a familiarity thing. Let's see what some people are saying about that. I don't think this is a big issue. Please change it back, please. Even though it's logical, it really created an appeal for a premium controller of back trigger so one can button map. I enjoyed the new controls. Move truck back to the right stick. Y is terrible. So it kind of seems like because you have to move your thumb off the stick that controls your player and press Y, it's kind of like you're stopping and then creating this motion. I don't ever use hurdle, so I don't know. Trucking I do a little bit, but for the most part I don't. So I guess I didn't notice it at all, and that's probably me. But again, I don't think this is bad feedback. If a lot of people, this many people are unhappy with it, I'm just surprised it's the most upvoted, issue of Madden 21. That's what we're complaining about. There's so many other things that are just not good other than that. So the second one is user feels slow, and I absolutely agree with this. They say user, they meant user, it says used. Feels like Vita Vey. I agree, and it's not based on speed. I know some of us might be used to, running around with 99 speed players because of MUT, but it just feels like no matter what the player is, even if it's a safety with solid speed, it's too slow. And that mixed with, which I'm sure we're going to talk about shortly here, that mixed with the zones are not playing good at all. You got to have one or the other. Either the CPU zones are going to have to do their jobs, or you're going to have to take things into your own hands and be a good user. And with users being that slow, I'll be curious to see what it's like with Lurker and maybe some other abilities like Acrobat. But the way it is now definitely needs a notch up for a little bit of speed. 1,055 upvotes for that one. I totally agree with that one. Let's go ahead and upvote it here. Players reacting to the ball in the air. Receivers don't react to the ball well. They will let it fly over their head on an easy rack. Looks like defenders do this as well. 100% agree. I'm going to be the 1,000th upvote there. So I played probably 5 to 6 games of the beta. I didn't play it as much as I thought I would, but I think I played it enough. Here's the thing for me. Playing the beta just gives me the itch to play MUT and build my MUT team, and because I can't do that right now, I don't want to waste my time. I know it sounds weird. Maybe some of you guys are in the same boat as me, but I agree with this. So I was playing a game, the last game that I played, and I had a simple, drag coming across the field. I want to say it was with my tight end. He was wide open when I threw the ball, but there was a defender in the vicinity kind of playing like a hard or cloud flat, and I threw the drag, and I've played Madden enough to know that 99.9% of the time, my tight end's just going to jump up and grab it. Not even jump up, stick his hands up. Instead, the ball just kept flying and went right to the defender's hands, and it was a pick six. It was really ridiculous. It wasn't an overthrow. It was just the player did not react. So I agree with this. I also agree with user defenders not reacting very well. A lot of I don't want to say high point passes, but taller receivers, tight ends, they go up and get the ball with the the defender just kind of stands there. So I agree with this one a lot. It's very accurate. Release is very quick, good. So a lot of upvotes here, not a lot of comments. I agree. I think that these things have been much, much better than last year. That mixed with the being able to throw out of sacks is pretty good. It could change the meta of saving, or sending 7 and being able to dot people up now because you can actually get the ball out. So I don't know if we'll have to wait and see. Like Aaron Rodgers, if the releases are good right now, is Aaron Rodgers, is he going to be able to throw the ball out even quicker than the normal people or normal quarterbacks that were playing with the beta? But I agree with that one. That's good. So we got another comment on usering. Usering feels really slow. This is the one thing about feedback, and I have not left any, to be honest. Sometimes too much feedback is just too much. So out of all the comments here, I was surprised trucking and hurdling was number 1. But now if you see this, we got user, we got user, we got user. So this is why I'm not going to leave feedback, because I think the majority of things that I've run into, other people have. So I'm just going to go through at the end of the night and probably upvote the things that I feel the most, like I agree with the most. So here's what I was talking about with zone coverage. I've seen a lot of conversation on Twitter about this, and I agree. Zone coverage gets beat really easily. I put cover 2 in the red zone, and Mark Ingram beat it like the snap of a finger. I kind of love that guy's description. So zone coverages to me don't play well. Deep zones don't play well. Flats don't play well. I didn't have enough time to tinker with the zone reaction thresholds where you can set 5, 10, 15 yards or whatever to play certain zones. I didn't really toy with that enough. I think because I didn't run into a player that was running something so frequent that I needed to adjust to those. If I get into a game where somebody's throwing corner routes all game, then I'll probably tinker with those types of settings, but I did not have to so far in the beta. Interceptions, way too many dropped interceptions. I'm not going to disagree with this one. I am the king of dropped interceptions. I'm sure all of you think that you are too, but I must say I have not run into any dropped interceptions, like ones that were thrown right at my defender's face. I actually got some pretty good animations, surprising animations. I still think taller receivers, Mike Evans, Gronk, I still think they're a little too good and they come down with the ball too frequently, but so far, I haven't personally experienced too many interceptions. Running with the QB is too good. I kind of agree with that one. Maybe it's because I'm sure the majority of you guys played against Lamar Jackson a lot. I found it very difficult to tackle him in the open field. Is he like that in real life? Of course. But I think with the tackling and the way that the users are a little too slow, I really had a hard time making a tackle if it was me versus the QB one-on-one. And on the flip side, I played a few games with Lamar Jackson, and because I forgot how to give myself up, you got to double tap square, or I think it's X on Xbox. A couple times I forgot to do that, and I got absolutely punched in the face, and I didn't fumble. So running with the QB is almost too good, and they never fumble now. I agree with the fumble part. There were times where I put myself in a terrible situation and didn't fumble, and I was absolutely befuddled. Switch hot route back to LB, L1, contain, run, commit, pass, commit. Quit changing the hot route buttons, especially when LB, L2 isn't even being used. I kind of like the new controller layout. I'm going to disagree with that one. They changed it up a little bit, but there's some other features here that I think are going to more so do with resetting your zone thresholds, and I think that's why they did that. I'm okay with the new controls. Remember, last year, they switched some controls on us, and we all freaked out and raged for a couple days, and we all got used to it. I think this is going to be the same thing. It's just new. I don't have a problem with that one. Players have rainbow arms. Several players and referees seem to have an Okay, I'm not going to, the beta to me is gameplay. I don't care about cosmetic type things. No disrespect to everybody that might agree with this. It's a good job pointing these things out, but I'm not going to leave feedback on that. Good job to EA. Wow, this is surprising. This isn't a bad thing, but just wanted to say that the animations are much better and more realistic in all aspects of the game. I don't think I've played the game enough to agree with that. I think the game feels okay, but has a lot of work to do, and I think there's going to be a lot of work done on it. but it's good to see some people are enjoying the game. Gang tackle. If there is a one-on-one tackle animation and more defenders run up, they should interact into a gang tackle animation just standing around. I agree with you there. It's also kind of funny that this comment, right, got good job about the animations and more realistic, and then the next comment under that is basically saying, hey, we need some like group tackle animations. So that's pretty funny. Add historical stat tracking to franchise mode. This is not something, I mean, it should be, right? I'm not a franchise player. I'm sure franchise players would want this, but this isn't something that should be in the beta feedback. It has nothing to do with the beta, but I agree with it. Players' pictures. Lamar's picture is not correct on the pause menu. A lot of people tweeted me that picture. I agree. Can't switch players sometimes on defense after making adjustments. I did run into that problem as well. If you're hot routing your life away and you try to click to a certain player, it just won't let you for whatever reason. So I agree there. Now the next one, and I might leave, actually I'm going to go 2 more here. 3 more. It's about usering again, but listen to what he's saying. Please, whatever you do, please do not change the speed of the linebackers are usering. It's more realistic this way. In Madden 20, too many times where my guy is able to cover multiple routes with a linebacker. That's fake. Now, I get it. It's not real, but we're playing a video game here, and I think usering is more of a skill. Does it need to be buffed up to what we're used to in past years? No. Does it need to stay where it's at now? No. We need a good middle balance there. And I don't agree with not touching it at all. 2 reasons why. Number 1, the zones stink in this game right now. And I said it earlier in the video, if we don't fix the zones, usering has to be good. Maybe you should fix the zones and leave the users alone. We got to have one or the other. Also, you can tell it's bad because look at all of this. I mean, every game I played, and I've seen this conversation on Twitter, every single game is like everybody's 20, 30 points on each team, 50-plus point games combined. It's the defense is just not good. Film study ability should be an X factor. The film study ability shouldn't be an ability, but rather an X factor. I kind of agree with that. That's actually really good. We could have a whole conversation, a whole video on film study and the ability, and it's something I might talk about, or probably will talk about in MUT Recap tomorrow. I'm going to bring MUT Recap tomorrow. Back tomorrow, so if you guys want to hear my discussion and my opinion on film study, stay tuned for tomorrow's video. But I really like that it should be an X factor rather than an ability. Maybe they do. Why is showboating LT plus X, L2 plus square? I tried to slide with my QB and he starts to showboat and gets clocked. So I talked about this in my first impressions video. The only way to showboat is L2 and that's it. To give yourself up or commit to the ground, you got to double tap square, double tap X. That's how it works now. I see where there's some confusion there. Literally the same thing happened to me. I went to slide the first time I tried to do it, punched in the mouth, fumbled. It was a wrap for me. So I went through, I think, some of the most common things. Are there other things out there? Of course there are, but these seem to be the biggest issues with Madden 21. I really hope we get another beta with some of these things fixed so we can try it out and get more feedback on it. Let me know what you guys think. Anything that we didn't talk about in this video, leave it down below in the comment section. My name is Popular Stranger. I'm out. Peace!